Welcome to Season 3 of the Craft Beer Connoisseurs Podcast. I'm Tyler. If you're new to the podcast, we are three friends and a producer who like to showcase craft breweries and their beers. Also, we like to end every episode with a short conversation on a variety of different topics. If you're not new to the podcast, well, you know what to expect. The three connoisseurs haven't changed, and the producers are always a wild card. Whether you're new or returning, please feel free to listen to all of our previous content. And remember to follow us on Instagram at Craft Beer Cons, send a friend request on Untapped, or subscribe on YouTube at Craft Beer Connoisseurs. Also, drop a comment, like, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Now, for today's episode. Welcome to the Craft Beer Connoisseurs. I'm Tyler.
I'm Brett.
And I'm Chris. And along with us today is producer Colby.
Hello, Colby.
Hey.
Hey, where's the Scottish coming from? That was weird.
Well, you'll find out.
I guess so. In today's episode, we're going to be brewing one of my personal favorites. I actually got out of the brewery in order to come here to record this episode. Black Swan Brewing out of Stratford.
There you go. And we're going to be having two beers on this episode, as we normally do. The first one is IPA, which is the name of it and the style of it. And the second one is Porter, which again is the name of it and the style of it. So, yeah.
What an easy segment for you, eh?
Yeah, it's perfect.
There you go. And to end the episode, we're going to be discussing school memories. We'll see how it ties in later on. All right, we're back. So
Yes, we are.
Thank you.
I was going to say that's usually Chris's thing. But
Yeah, you were getting on me for saying
Thank
that.
you. I
Yeah.
was hoping you'd pick up on it.
He's going to open her up later, don't worry.
I'm going to do it every segment now. Every transition.
Just do it.
So located at 144 Downey Street in downtown Stratford, originally owned by a couple of local middle school teachers who are home brewers. We have not seen that story ever before.
No. No, we have not.
Brewers? Yeah.
I mean, one of them is still owns it to this day, but...
Now, there's a little... Like, Colby's putting a little quip here, you know. Who wouldn't want a beer after teaching grade 7 and 8s all day? Am I right? Huh?
I mean, I would.
I've never taught grade 7s or 8s, but I could imagine. Yes.
So they decided to go all in, and Black Swan officially opened its doors in October of 2014 after converting the building from a lingerie store.
I'm still waiting for a label that's going to tie that in eventually.
Yeah, it seems like they've gone a different direction.
Yes.
Now, this is after, obviously, the red tape from council reviews, and there's no objections on it. So the city of Stratford said, we want a brewery.
Well, beer, lingerie. I mean...
Yeah, what would you rather have?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, Chris. No,
Save that thematic conversation.
Yeah, I was going to say, why aren't we talking about lingerie?
Should we put that up?
I really hope that doesn't have to tie into middle school.
I was going to say, maybe that becomes our poll.
Oh.
No, like, we'll put that on our Instagram.
Hey, no, I got what you meant. Don't worry. I got it. Anyway, so a nice little fun little tidbit. A few of the original beers long before Black Swan came to fruition, so we're talking like 2007, 2008, on a very tinier scale, were made and created home brewing in my sister's old house, actually. So my sister bought the house from one of the original owners of Black Swan. So, yeah.
So your sister did not do the homebrew?
No, not a chance. Not a chance. In 2018, Black Swan did undergo a bit of a renovation to get it where it is at today by purchasing 5 fermenters, a bright tank, and hot and cold liquor tanks. And this was to help create more product and more consistency throughout.
Nice. So the head brewer of Black Swan, his name is Phil Phillips, and wasn't that like an American Idol singer or something?
I believe that was Philip Phillips.
Which is
enough.
Actually Philip Phillips.
Yeah, there you go.
I like this one better.
This is a different person. Yeah.
Different person, same name.
Yeah. So he's been able to fine-tune the recipes, create an experiment with different hops and added adjuncts, and many of the ingredients that they use actually come from the local Perth County area, from different producers, and some he even grows in his own garden. So the brewing area of the brewery is known as Phil's Playground.
Yes. Now, fun fact, full disclosure, I feel like I should probably toss this in, is that I actually know Phil Phillips. I haven't talked to Phil in years, though.
But knows of him. So do I.
Phil and I actually went to elementary school together, and you can see why this is now kind of all tying in.
There it is.
To our thematic conversation. Phil and I used to actually be really great friends, and as we said kind of offline, Brett, what'd you say?
that maybe you should still be friends if you know.
Had I known that,
Had you known he was going to be a brewer, they would have. You would have kept the lines of communication open throughout the last 20 years.
I think it was after about grade 6 at Hamlet Public School that we kind of parted ways a little bit. Maybe
because you went to separate schools after that.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what happened. You know, those are the fine things about childhood memories, and we'll get there.
Yeah, it's just what happens.
So, before the expansion, Black Swan did not have a canning line, which we see usually with a lot of these breweries. So they're only able to purchase on tap in store or an elixir or a growler. After this, you could also get the stubby, the 355 milliliter glass bottles.
Ooh,
Still got a couple of those at home.
A stubby?
Bottle, yeah, stubby bottle.
Good for you. So nowadays everything comes full, circle, and cans are there. So they do actually share a canning line with JobSite.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in 2020 as well, due to assistance from a local government grant, they were able to install a walk-in cooler and a 12-tap system because before there were only 5. So they only had the core 5 before on tap, and now they're able to have a lot more.
Nice.
And a CO2 line that has aided Phil in being able to get more beers on tap versus before when it was, can, stubby, growler exclusive.
Sure.
Nice.
So, I mean, the availability of getting more beer on tap means more beer in the mouth.
Yes.
And that's an equation we like.
Means more visits from me. It's a great equation.
And different types of beers in the mouth, right? You can have your one-offs on the top as well, and not just having them in the can to take home.
Absolutely.
So once you go inside the brewery, they're seating for about 20 people. I'd say that's generous.
Very
I think
generous.
20 people would be pretty squished.
I mean, you're pretty crammed in there. You're not social distancing in there at all. I will tell you that. Yes.
Then you can maybe get another 15 or so on the patio during the summer months. And then inside, you can be greeted by the lovely staff of Black Swan. There's Trish, Ted, Greg, Avery, and Alex. And so Alex does a nice little glass flip thingy, if you will, when he serves you. So it is a thing of beauty, I've been told. I've not seen it, but Brad, I guess you've seen it.
Yes, I've seen it a few times.
Yeah.
Yes. Alex actually just moved here from New Zealand.
Oh, nice.
Yes. His wife is from the Stratford area, and they're having a baby. So he decided to make the trek all the way to Stratford, and he served a bunch of places in England and New Zealand and all those places. Yeah. So he knows what he's doing.
I find this funny, and this speaks to really kind of like quaint Stratford, right? And how Black Swan is like the epitome of that as well. Because very rarely do we list all the staff members of the brewery in an episode.
And I probably forgot a couple. I mean, Jamie's there too.
Right.
These are just the people that Brett knows on a first name basis.
And Greg came from Scotland.
Oh,
actually.
Italian.
Yes.
So remember at the beginning you said, why the Scottish accent?
Said my own joke. There you go.
You almost forgot about what we were talking about offline.
I know. It's amazing how I forget things.
So before we continue, I think it's pertinent for us to say that we have all been there.
Yeah, I've been there once, and that was this past summer when I did my Stratford trip.
Right. I think.
And none of us got an invite, and we were literally right near him.
Yeah. But I get that.
You were working, so
I could have.
Sorry, what? I was working.
Yeah, you were working. Brett was.
Both of us could have taken the time off to come down and have a pint with you, and leave and your wife.
Yes.
But anyways,
next year.
So
right?
Colby, Brett, myself have been there numerous times.
Yes.
And then Chris, you just the one time.
Just the one time.
Very nice. I thought that we should probably put that in.
Yeah, definitely.
Before Brett starts talking about some of the beers.
Which is going to tie into how many beers we've had from the brewery itself. So speaking of Black Swan beers that have been produced, 116 different ones with an average rating of 3.68 out of 5 with about 20,000 different check-ins.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, right?
Solid,
I mean, it's been around for, 8-9 years now. So
Yeah.
Myself, I've had 38 of those. So that's a good percentage, almost like my batting average, which might be selling myself a little low, but that's all right. So the highest rated I've had is the Paul Bellini, which is like a Kids in the Hall reference, Peach-Wheat at 4.75.
Wow, no 5s for you from Black Swan.
No.
That's
I'm waiting
probably
on
the
it.
most surprising thing.
Actually, if you look back to the job site, I haven't had a 5 from job site either.
Wow.
Wow. And just a point of clarification on that would make your batting average a 328, which seems about right, which is lower than mine. So we move on to the next one. So I've had 9, and my highest was the Cranberry Wild Child, which I give it a 4.25.
Yeah, I've had 5. and my highest rated was Peaches and Dreams, which was a 4.25, which actually is the pint that I had while I was there on the patio.
There you go. And Colby, obviously, I'm sure people have figured out, might be from the Stratford local area because he's had 23 of them.
Yeah.
When his highest rated was a Raspberry Cheesecake Wild Child at a 4.5.
Yeah. And that's one thing I want to point out, too, is that Wild Child series, right?
Yes, there's a bunch of them.
There's some good beers coming out of that.
Absolutely.
And that's their sour series, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
And it was out of a cask, too.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm glad he remembers that. That's
glad,
good for him.
I'm glad that you didn't read what he wrote.
It was served in a casket. Anyway. Food-wise, Black Swan does have a specialty hot dog of the week.
Ooh.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Big fan of hot dogs, Chris?
I like a good hot dog.
Do you like it with a glass of milk or no?
No.
Anyway, so you can get basic toppings, of course, but they like to jazz it up. So some of the previous versions include like a pizza dog, a carnival one, so one with popcorn on top of it, a Caesar salad dog, so literally it's just a big pile of Caesar salad on top of your hot dog, a Big Mac one, a mac and cheese one, they venture, outside of left
we
field.
need a Craft Beer Connoisseurs corn dog.
Yeah.
Sure.
See, I always like the idea of these loaded hot dogs, but then when you go to actually eat it, it's like, how are you going to get it all in your mouth at the same time?
Well, I guess you'll have to go back and find it.
Well, it's the same thing as, I believe, what is it, Merit has the sausages?
Yes, they do.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's the same sort of thing. It's
Yeah.
Good.
And then also you can grab some snacks like locally made pepperettes and popcorn.
Yeah.
Nice.
So why don't you talk about some of the events, Chris?
Yeah, so they do every Tuesday. This is something that would be right up my alley. Casks and Crokinole.
Caskets and Crokinole.
So a new cask is created, I guess every Tuesday. That's pretty cool. Sometimes a twist on a recipe like a cinnamon bun porter, or maybe something crazy like gosa with yumaboshi, yuzu, and market lime leaf.
Yeah.
I don't know what many of those things are.
Oh, yeah, what yuzu is, though.
I do know what yuzu is, back from season 1, but I definitely would love to play Crokinole while drinking beer. I'm a big fan of Crokinole.
Me too.
And then Wednesdays.
Colby is as well.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Right? You can make that a foursome?
Bigger fan of the cast than the Crokinole.
Well, we should have a Craft Beer Connoisseurs tournament.
Well, I think the three of us could probably go into like an A tournament and we can maybe go down to a C.
Yeah, at least a C.
C for cask.
Maybe
Right.
lower.
Not for Crokinole,
Yeah. And then Wednesdays, they've got $5 pints. I guess that's all day. So
Yes, you can usually find me there on Wednesdays. I like a good deal. So why go Thursday when you have to pay $6 when you
There
go
you
Wednesday
go.
and get it for $5? So Black Swan's IPA has gotten themselves into some Southwestern Ontario LCBOs, as well as different craft beer bars and bottle shops, as mentioned, because of the expansion of the product in terms of being able to get more product at the door.
For sure.
Go ahead.
You want me to do some delivery?
Yeah, you like delivery.
It's not delivery, it's Delicio.
Yeah, exactly.
So delivery, you can get free local same-day delivery within Stratford, and that's a minimum of 24. And then Tavistock, St. Mary's, and London get free local delivery on Fridays.
Wow.
So you want to make sure that you get your order in time so that way you can get it on a Friday. Now, for the hours of Black Swan, Sunday to Monday, 12 to 5, Tuesday to Saturday, 11 to 9. So if you do the math on that, I think that is 7 days out of 7 days.
They are
That
open
is.
7 days a week,
There
and
you
I'm there at least 3 of them.
Jeez.
I'm kidding. I'm not. At least 1 or 2.
No, just Wednesday for sure.
Exactly.
Cheapo.
All right. Well, as always, we're going to link to their information so you can get in touch with them.
And let's roll on with the first beer.
All right, we're back. So a big thank you to Teddy.
Yes.
Ted.
Yes.
Yeah, I know Teddy is Ted. Teddy is Ted. Teddy.
I know it's Teddy.
Yeah, Teddy.
I also know him as the person who gives me the beer
Yeah.
on Wednesdays.
There you go. I haven't talked to Teddy in forever. Teddy,
Well, you know what?
How
Maybe
you
we
doing?
should- maybe we
Catch up.
should go
Let's
in.
catch up sometime.
No, let's go together sometime.
Oh, yeah.
We both work 5 minutes away from each other.
On a
Chris, you-
Wednesday.
Well, why wouldn't you? Get a deal.
We keep pushing that. And we also want to thank Greg from Black Swan for sending us the beers. So,
I mean, by sending it, literally putting them in my hand. I was there when I got them. It's not like they got it shipped to us.
That there is called a full send.
Full send indeed.
Right on, brother. The first beer we're going to have today is their IPA, which was previously mentioned by Chris, with the name of IPA. It is a 6.5% ABV and 65 IBUs.
Yes, so this is your classic American West Coast style IPA with an abundance of late addition hops and dry hopping to emphasize the tropical fruit and light pine aroma. Hops utilized in here include Chinook, Amarillo, and Mosaic, with 5 different varieties of malts within the beer itself.
Nice. So as always, you can follow us on Instagram at Craft Beer Cons and on Untapped at Craft Beer Connoisseurs. So the rating for this IPA is 3.77 out of 5 with 2,700 check-ins. Fun fact, almost half of the check-ins are either 3.75 or 4. So that makes sense why the average is 3.75.
3.77.
Right, sorry, 3.77. So there's been 888 draft check-ins at 3.84. Must be everyone getting a $5 pint. And then 494 can check-ins at 3.72. 75 out of 5s.
Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I have had this.
Yes. I have as well.
I was going to say, and same with Colby as well.
But I don't think you have, Chris.
I have not. This is not one of the 5 that I've had.
The reason why I do say is because I did have it on draft actually at the local Boston Pizza. So they do collaborate with some of the
they're in a lot of the bars in town, like Boar's Head and Mercer and all that stuff. Yep.
Figured it was a good time to tie that puppy in.
You and your Boston Pizza. I don't know.
Yeah, I go there.
I bet you got a gift card from there sitting there that you got 4 years ago.
Hey, you're the one that always say that you're a finger cooker, so.
Yeah.
It's true.
Okay. Grab your can, grab your glass, and let's open her up. Watch that. Nicely filled right to the top, eh?
It is.
Getting all 355 milliliters of it.
I had a tight tab, too, so hard to get my finger under it. So, of course, this is an IPA. We are drinking out of an IPA glass, so make sure to use your proper glassware.
How's everybody's pours?
Splendid. Yours?
Good. I was waiting for you to come back and say, like, oh, my face pours, they're doing great.
That's later conversation.
Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, pours good.
Nice head on it.
I was going to say, nice frothy kind of head.
Yeah.
Nice tight kind of bubbles to it, which is nice to see.
Pretty good consistency throughout.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what you expect from the IPA. This is their main staple, right? So I don't think this is going to fall too far off here.
Yeah, a little golden in color. We probably will see some lacing with this, just the way that the head retention has been, and I'm sure it'll kind of keep as we go throughout. You guys getting anything on the nose? Because I certainly am. As soon as I cracked it open, started pouring it,
Getting that pine.
Pine and citrus on the nose.
A lot of nose citrus.
Yeah.
A lot of nose citrus.
No citrus.
Getting up in the nostrils, yes.
Yeah, hanging out there for a bit. Want to get into a little sippy poo poo?
I do.
I'll get into the sip and not the poo.
Oh my god, he's on one today, folks. He's on one today. All right, you guys drinking it? I'll get into it now too.
That's nice.
Right?
It makes me want to take a second sip right after.
That gets you a good rating right there. If Chris has to go automatically back for a second sip right away.
Yeah, it is nice. And like when we were telling, the stats of this beer is 65 IBU, but it doesn't come off overly bitter at all, which it is a West Coast, but it doesn't really have that bitterness of a West Coast, I wouldn't say.
Yeah. Very, very traditional West Coast style. Obviously, I mean, I've had this beer a few times in my day, but it never fails, right? It's always one of those ones that you can have in your fridge and
Tried and true.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
If you're looking for one that's consistent, that you know is going to be good no matter what every time, this would be a prototypical West Coast IPA to hit to.
Yeah, it's very smooth. It's nice going down. You guys have already hit on some of the other flavors that I'm picking up as well. There's no real surprises, right? And I think that it's nice to have that, you know what to expect.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, and there is citrus flavor to it, but I was expecting a little bit more flavor of citrus based on the nose than I am actually getting.
I would agree with that.
You're getting more pine.
Yeah, more pine.
Yeah, more citrus on the nose, more pine in the flavor as she drinks down.
Yes.
So the last time I did have this was August 26th, 2020. I don't know about you guys, but that might come into some of the. I don't know if you can compare it to.
We do have a bit more knowledge than last time that you would have had it for sure.
Yeah, right.
I agree.
It's a little bit different than the first time. That
so what you're saying, your rating might be different than what you would have rated it last time.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
We'll find out.
Yeah, guess what?
But it's possible.
We'll see, right?
Yeah.
So, so Colby said the first time was New Year's Eve, 2019.
For what?
Oh,
Beer?
For this beer.
For the
this
last
beer.
time he had
I thought
it.
it was tying into the end conversation too.
What are we talking about?
Okay.
Keep up. All right, top 5 flavor profiles off of that horrible mistake. Number 1, hoppy.
I'm gonna say probably the pine is gonna be number one for me. Hoppy does slide in the top 5, but not number 1. Pine.
Yeah, I would say hoppy's there, but not necessarily the number 1 flavor.
I would agree. Number 2 is smooth.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty smooth IPA, actually.
Yeah,
I
it goes
would agree.
down smooth, indeed.
Yeah.
After 4 or 5, it hits you pretty good, though.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
I would know from experience.
Yeah, 6.5%.
6.5 is going to get you pretty good.
Yeah.
Number 3 is piney.
This is where I'd put hoppy.
So you would switch hoppy and piney?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Pine was 1, hoppy be 3 for me.
Yeah, Colby would agree with that.
Good.
Pine,
I'm glad we
would be
agree.
number 1 as well. 4 is fruity.
Yeah, see, I think this is a bit of a cop-out. Like, I would go citrus. I can't really pick out, like, exactly which citrus fruit is in it, but I would be a little bit more specific and say citrus than fruity.
See, you get the citrus flavor more so if you swish it around in your mouth for a minute. Maybe not a minute. Maybe a couple seconds.
Try switching it around for a minute. Swish,
Yeah.
swish it
Yeah,
around for a
let
minute.
me
Get back
switch
to
it.
me.
I
Swish
will
it
say
around.
the citrusiness is, if that's a word, is mostly on the back end. That's where
Yes.
I'm getting it. Yeah.
And for me, the citrus isn't necessarily fruit juice. What I'm getting from the citrus is more rind or oily. That's kind of how I'm picking up. I don't think fruities kind of does it justice. On
No,
this.
I don't think
and
so
I would
either.
also not put it as number 4 either way. Number 5 is light.
It's tough. I don't think light should be involved with that.
No, I don't think so.
I think more so you're getting that mouth feel, and I think producer Colby is there with me as well. It's one of those beers that it's a good staple to have, right?
Yeah.
And you can't fail you.
For sure. Okay, Chris, why don't you jump into some?
Yeah,
user
so in terms of untapped users, we're going to find out what they think about this. Brett, you're up first.
Yes, thank you. So this the first one's from Scott H, and his handle is SR Hillier. On November 4th, said citrusy and piney. Sorry, November 4th of 2022.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Because, 2023
That
now.
matters.
There you go.
All right. So citrusy and piney with a medium bitter dry finish. Decent overall. 3.5 out of 5.
Very good. The second review comes from Graham G, or the handle GH Lord, Galord, if you will, on September 28th. We don't have the year listed, but let's just say it's September 28th, 2022. Just a classic old school piney and bitter IPA, perhaps a tad moist. But you easily forget for
You don't
thinking
get that word in a review every now and then, do you?
No.
you'd gone back to the Pacific Northwest circa 2002. Solid. And give it a 3.5 out of 5.
I mean, it's a liquid, so it is moist.
There's the good comment right there.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all.
So I'll start ratings off on this one. I'm going to give it the same rating that I gave it back in August. Maybe a little bit different, just the way that I see it kind of put together, but still I'm going to give it a 3.5. Very consistent. And I feel like it's held up over those 2 years as a good, solid beer, one that you can trust, one that you can rely on.
Yeah, I agree. This is a solid beer. Nothing spectacular, but it's not bad at all either. So I'm going to go around my average with a 3.75.
Okay. For me, I've had it more times than when I've checked it in on Untapped. It's going to stay the same. It's a 4 for me. I think for this beer, you definitely get the real hop flavor coming through.
Okay.
And then producer Colby, speaking of coming through, give us his rating of 3.25 out of 5. And then he has to go do math. This is great.
There's some more information there if you want to read that.
I mean, he's had it in a taster, a stubby bottle, probably a full pint on tap. He's had every single way of having this beer.
Now add it in can. So that's going to give us an overall score for our Untapped of 3.625.
Well,
So
yeah. Sorry.
go ahead. No.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, we're going to round that up.
Okay.
Yes.
3.75.
Yeah.
3.75 it is.
You wanted to jump in, so I was just like, all right, go ahead. That's all right.
Sorry, I was just, I was eager to get to the next beer, so why don't we do that now? The second beer we're having
And we're
today.
back.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I was waiting for it.
No,
let's open her up.
I'm self-conscious about it now. I know. Yeah,
What's going to be your transition in now?
I don't know. I'll have to think of something
The
new.
second
Yeah.
beer.
You gave me like a complex now.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh.
Yeah. That's
A
cute.
podcast complex.
Well, the second beer we're having is the Black Black Swan Porter. Of course, beer is called porter. Comes in at 5.3% ABV with 45 IBUs. So this one is heavy on dark malt, and it's well balanced, which will impart notes of chocolate and coffee to the nose and palate, while offering a satisfying, exceptionally smooth finish.
Well done.
Thank you.
Chinook hops again. Used within this beer with 8 different types of malt.
8
different
Yeah.
types.
The IPA was 5.
This is one more than 7, one less than 9 in terms of malts.
Yes. Thank you.
Somebody went to the after school special. Now, this is the 4th pour that we've had on the podcast, and all 3 have been rated above the global average.
From us.
Yes, well,
Yeah.
Presumably, yes. Who else would have rated above?
I think we're following that through line.
Good, I'm glad
yeah.
I'm glad we can read. Yeah.
Good job. Yeah, we'll see if the trend holds true here.
Yeah, you're right.
'Kay.
Let's see what it does. So at Untapped, the Porter has 1,640 check-ins, and you might be thinking, I'm one of them, and I am not. I know, right?
None of us are, actually.
Exactly. So it's going to be interesting. Usually when I go to Black Swan, it's maybe a Celiden, which is their light Pilsner, or an IPA, sometimes a Wild Chow, but never really a Porter until right now. So in terms of check-ins, it has an average rating of 3.73 out of 5. And Draft and Can, both the same rating with 3.74. Makes
Wow.
sense.
Okay.
We didn't go to, extra decimal points to figure out exactly how close they are.
Consistent.
Yeah. And there's 39 5 out of 5s. Producer Colby right on it, let me tell you.
Very good.
He is pretty excited about the Porter.
So what you're insinuating here is that we may or may not, but probably will, have a higher than the 3.73. Like that's the target line?
Correct. But also,
If everything from the past stays true.
I also say that if we have this beer 3 years ago,
Yes.
our rating's a lot lower than what it might be today.
Sure. We
Because
have
we
definitely
have expanded our knowledge and know exactly.
what to kind of look for.
Exactly.
And we're not, a little bit stout or porter shy
Yeah.
anymore.
We wouldn't touch a porter or a stout with a 10-foot pole 3 years ago. Now we touch it with a 1-foot pole.
You, myself, for sure, but Chris would have enjoyed them.
Yeah, I get Chris
I
would.
didn't mind them.
All right. Let's grab this can. You might see that the Black Swan is not black and it's a different color than the last one. And let's open her up. A little bit of a hesitation move there for everybody at
I
home.
will also say, and this is a local shout out to one of my friends, but I'm waiting for the Garrett Swan beer eventually. He said I had to shout him out on the podcast today, so there's your shout out.
There you go. Well, we are drinking this porter out of a Nonic pint, so make sure to use your proper glassware.
What a nice pour. Oh,
Right?
all of us.
You right? It's
There's
almost
lots
like
ahead on this.
like we've taken like a course or something like that that has
How to
Just
pour
not
how
an
to pour
English
beer.
course.
Honestly, this is like the triplets here. Very consistent from all 3 of us. So,
quadruplets. I mean, come on.
well, yeah, Colby's is a little bit lackluster. I wasn't
Sounds
going
about
to
right.
call him out, but
Sounds
here
about
we
right.
are.
Sorry, I
calling it
like
as
to
it is.
know that I'm better than somebody else.
Yeah, you would. Yeah. That fits your personality.
Well,
you.
the three connoisseurs are pouring like connoisseurs.
as we should.
Yeah, as we should, yes.
What do you guys got?
Well,
I have the beer.
yes, you have the beer in your glass. Dark like a porter. No surprises there. Like we kind of mentioned, pretty thick head here.
Yes.
Tan head, as you would expect from a porter or a stout.
The bubbles are really thick. Eh?
Yes.
I've been moving around. It's a nice frothy head, and like the retention of it's good, but like the movement of the head, like you can really mix it up like pretty good. It's got like a good milkshakey kind of consistency to the head.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's very nice. Picking up obviously some of that coffee, chocolatey.
Yeah, I think the
Dark
flavors are
malts.
both well balanced in terms of chocolate and coffee. There's nothing
the nose.
one sticking out from the other. It's just neutral both ways. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. I'm going to be honest with you. I think this might bode well. It might not too.
Yeah, it might be awful. We'll find out. It's not going to be awful.
Stay tuned.
To right now, yeah. We didn't have a commercial break involved, so I guess we should probably drink it, right?
yeah, let's take a sip here.
I'll drink it. You want to drink it too?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
you
we should
guys
all
drink
drink
it.
it.
Well, you fill some time, Chris.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't usually fill time, but I don't know what to say here. Just watching you guys drink your porter.
Okay, you're up.
How do you like it?
Go ahead.
Yeah, you should probably drink now.
Try and get some of that head in with that sip as well.
Definitely a lot heavier on the chocolate than I thought. Almost like a dark chocolate.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think as we kind of go through it, you're going to find some of that dark chocolate kind of come through. I'm also getting like a deep, dark roast.
Yes. I'm not exactly, too familiar with the kinds of roast.
Colby just like locked eyes with me and gave me the up and down movement.
Yeah.
There's an agreement there.
That head nod, yeah.
I like that.
I definitely agree with the roastiness. Like, this really reminds me of, if you guys recall, sorry, Colby, but when we when we went to another brewery in Stratford, job site, and we brewed our beer, and we tasted the actual malts. Like, this is the chocolate malt. Like, it's really coming through. It reminds me of eating the malt.
Yeah. It makes sense that the chocolate malt is one of the 8 malts used.
Yeah, but it's definitely the most, the one that's coming through most.
Absolutely. There's that strong predominant malt in there. I do agree with you, and I think that like it's nice to see that flavor transposed from the actual malt into the beer, because sometimes you can see it kind of get lost or like subdued, and it follows through really nicely. And over the Christmas break, I was talking to my wife's cousin, I guess a cousin of mine now too, I suppose.
Oh, I thought you were like pluralizing your wife.
Yeah, no.
No, this isn't sister wives, don't worry.
Even that's falling apart. Yeah. But anyways, we were talking about coffee and how I've never had a cup of coffee ever. Closest I ever came was
this beer,
like a cafe mocha. And I said, the thing is like I've never had a cup of coffee, but I still enjoy now. And this goes back to your earlier conversation there, Brett, about how we would have looked at stouts and porters a little bit differently years ago. But opening it up and getting that coffee flavor, and this is like a dark roast. It's very nice. It's very pleasant.
I'm not put off by this flavor anymore.
No.
I'm not going to go out to Starbucks and buy a $5, whatever the heck they serve kind of coffee.
A $5, yeah, you'd be getting the smallest thing there.
Yeah, Venti something probably.
But Venti means 20.
Sure. Anyway, yeah, I don't like Starbucks, as you can tell.
But that's fine.
But yes.
Do you want to get to the top 5 flavor profiles?
Sure, let's do that.
Yeah.
So number 1, coffee.
Yeah, I think it's up there.
Yeah, definitely one of the top 3 for me.
Can we do like a 1A, 1B? I'm going to.
Yeah.
I would say that the coffee and the chocolate are 1A, 1B, and I would describe both as dark coffee, dark chocolate.
But also, did you notice how when I said that 50% kind of on the nose was chocolate, 50% coffee, you're also getting the 50% coffee, 50% chocolate.
It's mixed in
on the taste.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's proven to be consistent, right? Which is nice to see.
Thanks, Bill.
I'd say it's more like it's the coffee up front, and then the chocolate comes in on the back end.
100% concur.
Yeah.
Yes.
Carry on.
Awesome.
Number 2, dark.
Yeah. Again, Colby points this out. Not really a flavor, but
It does look dark.
Yeah, dark in color and dark in taste.
Yeah.
Sure.
Pardon me, I took another sip. Number 3, roasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is definitely roasty, and Colby's saying this would be his number 1. This one, like, it's roasty, but that's kind of almost describing the coffee. And the chocolate, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
So I think 3 is an appropriate place for it.
4, smooth.
You okay?
Yeah. Hiccups, apparently.
Oh,
I've been having this the last couple
goodness.
days. My bad.
Smooth. You know what? It's not as smooth as I think it probably could have been,
Yeah.
or I would almost, if it was smoother, I might enjoy it a little bit more.
You know what, though? Like, with a smooth porter or stout, sometimes it comes off as thin, which you don't want. Like, I think this is an appropriate amount of smoothness, if you will.
Right. And number 5, strong.
Yeah, I think strong is more like bold, right? Like you get bold coffee, you get bold chocolate.
These flavors are hitting you in the face. Well,
And I look up here
technically.
now because I'm getting a kind of hand wave from Colby. Almost the equivalent to that would be heavy, right? So bold, a heavy kind of flavor. Yeah.
Yeah, but I would say chocolate is, obviously missing from this top 5, and I would throw that in.
Which is also interesting because this is 1.2% lighter on the ABV than the IPA. So it's really interesting in terms of how it might drink heavier, but the alcohol content is actually a lot less.
For sure.
Right? So, and speaking of, other things and people and Untapped, Tyler.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So Colby does say 4.13 on the nitro, which would actually be very enjoyable. So it'd be nice to see how that is. But I will get into the Untapped user, which was Christy T. I'm kind of a big phony on this one. Handle is Fake Beer Geek. Call yourself out, I suppose.
Yep.
On December 2nd, stated bitter taste, but a friendly bitter, like very dark chocolate. Gave it a 4.5 out of 5. Okay.
You know what? It is kind of bitter. Maybe that could have been thrown into the top 5.
Yeah.
Is that bitterness, right?
This could be like a 7, one of those beers where you have like 7 selections, I would say, for the flavor profiles.
Sure. Yeah.
So the next one comes from Lawrence D. Lawrence Dugai on September 26th said, a gift from the brother-in-law from his Stratford trip. Distinct notes of chocolate, clean and smooth, almost creamy. It's light for a porter and quite enjoyable. And Lawrence gave it a 3.5 out of 5. So in terms of our ratings, I'll get this started. As we mentioned, none of us have had or at least rated this on tap before.
Sure.
So I'm going to go the same as the IPA on this one and go with a 3.75.
Okay. I'm thinking maybe next time when I go to Black Swan, I might have actually like a full pint of this. And I never thought I'd say this before I had it. I'm gonna
on Wednesdays.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Always on
Definitely going on Wednesday. I'm going to give this 3.75. I'm going to stick with you in terms of the rating in there, Chris. Tyler?
Very good. Yeah. I would have liked to see this be a little bit more creamer than what it is mentioned. But I think it's a very solid beer. One thing I did want to mention too is the alcohol content of this. This is a nice kind of winter beer where you could have 2, even 3 of them, and not feel very heavy in the gut and not heavy on the alcohol. So a very nice, pleasant beer. I'm going to give this just a little bit more than my average at the 3.75 as well.
Oh.
Okay.
Tickle me. Producer Colby is going to give it a 3.5. So this is actually you go ahead and give us the final score, but I think we know where we're at with this.
Yeah, so we're at when you do the math, it's a 3.6875, but of course, we're going to round that up to a 3.75 with 3 of us doing a 3.75.
Now, I bring it back to the 3.73, I believe, was the global average on this. So technically, we are lower than that this time. So the trend has been broken, friends.
Or maybe we were using the rounded up average. But previously,
we'll have to talk to Colby, who put together some
those facts. Yeah.
There you go.
There's definitely something to be figured out somewhere. Anyway, that concludes the review of Black Swan and the beers that they provided for today's episode.
Very nice. So up next, we're going to discuss our school memories growing up. All right, and we're back.
We are.
So originally owned by middle school teachers, Black Swan, that is, as we previously discussed. This is where I met Philip, my boy, in Stratford at Hamlet Public School. So that has inspired today's conversation as school memories, which I will have one of Phil, because I'm that kind of guy that does not forget absolutely anything. So this is going back many, many years. I would say almost grade 3 or 4.
Wow.
I'm looking forward to that story. Let me tell you.
20-something years ago.
I hate my life.
Wow. Okay.
So what we're
negative on that. Okay.
What we're going to do is we're not going to include anything from university and college. We've already kind of talked about that previously.
Yeah.
So let's keep it to K to 12. How about that?
K to 12.
If you got a preschool one, I've got one too. You want to throw that in?
I remember preschool.
I do not remember preschool.
I
no.
do. I remember my own birth. Okay, so let's go through. Do you guys have ones from different? So
you want to do let's do kind of elementary school and then high school?
Elementary school? Do you get middle school? Yeah, if you went there and then high school.
Wow, I mean, my elementary school is also middle school.
I didn't have a middle school. I just went from
back then. It was K to 8, right?
Yeah, K to 8, and then a high school. Yeah.
For me, I had grade 7 to 8 was separate.
Yes, I guess.
Like you went to a brand new school.
Yes.
Yeah, because Hamlet was only K to 6.
I actually went to a couple different schools because it was supposed to be K to 6. But I went to one school all the way up until grade 1. So I did kindergarten in another school, and then did 1 to 6 because my siblings were actually in that other school. So my mom didn't want to do the traveling to do different schools. So elementary, why don't I just knock this one right out of the park?
Yeah,
on
you
this
go
one
ahead.
first. My friend, if you will, Phil.
Friend at the time, for sure, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We were good buds, and it's too bad that, I mean, this is what happens, right? You just get older and you grow apart a little bit. But I'd love to sit down and have a beer with Phil, maybe on Wednesday at Black Swan.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, he'll be there. I'll be
For
there.
$5 pints, yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
so this is more of a story about Phil than it is about me, but at Hamlet, we went ahead and they put up new basketball nets. And so they had on the school, they drilled them into the school, right? The backboard and the net. And then on the other side, they put the pole up.
Yeah.
Well, Phil and I were similar stature, very small, skinny guys.
And still are. Similar
Yeah.
stature.
Yeah, absolutely.
He wouldn't know, but I do.
I know what Phil looks like. I see him on Instagram as well.
I see him in person, but beside the point. Go ahead.
There you go. So Phil was actually running down, trying to go for a nice little layup or a basket of some sort, and might have been tripped. Might have tripped himself. Tough to say, but ended up going tooth first into the pole.
Yikes.
And demolished his front tooth, chipped his tooth. I was right beside him when it happened. And
Did you trip him?
I did not. I was right beside him, but enough distance between that it was not me because he's my boy. And what ended up happening is his tooth went right into the pole. And I'm actually curious if it's the same pole there, because if it is, there still would be a tooth mark in it. Like it dented the pole and took out half his tooth.
We might have to do some investigation on this.
So,
Go to Hamlet.
Phil,
Yeah.
when you're listening to this episode, I hope your tooth is doing well. I hope you're doing well. And
Jesus
I'll come into the Black Swan sometime for a pint.
Go into Black Swan, check his teeth, see how
Yeah.
they're doing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
and then there'll be a
Who
beer
wants to-
and everything
Who
like
wants to
that.
go next?
I'll go next since I'm next to you. My most favorite memory of elementary school. So I went to a very, very old school called Mitchell Public from K to 6. And there's two things. One, my grade 1 teacher was so lazy that we were in the basement of Mitchell Public. And instead of going up the steps, walking all the way...
Told this
Yeah,
story
you've
on the
told the
podcast.
story.
But still, I'm just going to say it
Yeah,
again.
okay,
You know,
all right.
walking all the way across the school and going down the steps.
I could finish this story.
In order to go to the computer lab, we just walk through the boiler room.
Walk straight through the boiler room.
Walk through the boiler room.
Yep.
The second one is...
Right, too.
yes, I said 2 earlier.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah. Is my grade 4 French class. Okay, actually 4, 5, and 6 because it was in the same room. There below on the first level was, I think, a 3-4 split, maybe a 4-5 split, doesn't matter. And if you wanted to distract them, all you had to do was stomp on the floor, and then the lights would flicker below. So
Told this one
He's
too.
also told
well, you're
this.
wanting me to do elementary school stuff, and then this is what I'm saying. I don't have many memories from there, and I'm telling the memories I have, but apparently I've already told them. So
That's good.
Interesting.
you know,
Look at an old man.
mini sticks underneath the gymnasium mezzanine. There you go.
Cool. Good stories, Brett.
All right. Well,
what you got.
my elementary school memory that I'll share kind of is similar to the one you mentioned, Tyler, where in terms of it involves an injury. This one to myself. So, do you guys remember Reading Buddies? Did you have Reading Buddies? Yeah.
Brett still has them.
Yeah, it's called My Daughter. I read to her every night. So there
I
you
bet
go.
you it reads to you.
So cute.
Keep going.
So I think I was probably in grade 3, and my reading buddy would have been like grade 6 or
5,
7,
6.
I would
Okay.
say, something like that.
Yep.
Anyways, we were out at recess, and it was the winter time, and we had this, I don't know, there's this sheet of ice that had formed on the playground.
Yeah.
And we were all sliding on our feet down the sheet of ice. And so, I took my turn, and then my reading buddy, for whatever reason, tripped me, and I fell, hit my head on the ice, and got pretty badly injured. I remember being in the office, and the secretary was washing my head, and there was blood dripping into the sink, and it was... yeah, not nice. Not a nice reading buddy.
It was just done for dramatic effect. They actually had red food coloring. They just wanted to scare you, so they just put
Apparently, he didn't want to read.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. He didn't like me, I guess.
I guess I'll take producer Colby's here.
Yeah, because your stories were so great.
Well, I mean, I do remember Nukem Ball, though.
Yes.
That was a great time. It's spelled incorrectly on the screen, but I remember how it was
I
done.
do not know Nukem Ball.
Oh, yeah, because you did not go to school in Perth County. Let me tell you. Yeah. Fun fairs, like the fundraising, a lot of games in the gym, cost tokens, the grade 7 Kiwanis dances, probably playing Aerosmith. I don't want to miss a thing.
Yeah, with your arms fully extended.
Exactly.
Buddy,
Social distancing dancing. It's a great time.
not this guy.
Not Colby?
No, not me.
Yeah.
I can't speak for Colby.
Didn't dance with anybody.
Let me tell you.
Wallflower.
And actually his parents. So good job to...
He danced with his parents?
Well, I mean,
Good job, Colby.
we'll see. No, I'm kidding. Actually came up with the slogan, which I believe the slogan for the school. God, they were really looking for slogans, weren't they? Which they still use today, which is planting the seeds up for tomorrow.
Which is concerning
Yes.
in so many different ways.
I mean, it is a rural school, so I understand the whole aspect of it.
Yeah, I
But,
don't think I want anybody in my schools planting their seeds anywhere.
Jesus Christ.
That's what I'm saying. Middle school. You guys go to middle school? You have 7, 8, or is it
I
all
think
part
you're
one?
the only one for middle school.
Well, I guess I technically went K to 6 to Metropublic and 7, 8 to Upper Thames, but Upper Thames was K to 8. So I guess
okay.
technically,
Yeah,
if you get what I mean, right?
Okay.
So for middle school, I'll keep it short then. We were the last graduating class of King Lear. And you'll see this is Stratford, right? Hamlet, King Lear, Romeo, Juliet.
Yeah.
That's just how the schools are named. At King Lear, we were the last graduating class, and every single graduating class that came before us would go ahead and have the Quebec grade 8 trip.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody loved
Yeah.
the grade 8 Quebec
Yeah.
trip, right?
Quebecois, yes.
Yeah, not us. They said the school's closing. The hell with you. You're going to Camp Celtic. So we got gypped
Where is Camp Celtic? I don't remember where it is.
up in the Bruce Peninsula.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So we went ahead and they said, nah, the school doesn't have funds anymore because we're no longer having grade 7 and 8. The heck with you. You're going to camp. So I went up to the camp and put my face in some cold water and had a great time, which I didn't because I ended up in like a cabin full of just misfits, and it was just not a great time. But grade 7 and
I'll
8.
keep the middle school story short and sweet.
Have you told us one?
No, I don't think I have.
Cool.
Air band competition?
No, go ahead.
No.
I mean, I was in airband, but I mean, whatever.
Grade 8 air band competition. They put a big high jump mat off the stage. So I ran to do a
actually
jump on the
missed it.
stage, and then I broke my pinky to the point where today my pinky still is not straight.
We got broken pinkies all up.
Yeah,
this
broken
place.
pinkies all up the place.
Yeah.
I'm good. I got
pinky
2 good
problems
pinkies.
over
So pretty much, instead of doing like a belly flop, I should have done a front flip. I wouldn't have broke my pinky.
Which is funny because I look at you and I think belly flop. I don't know why.
Fair enough. Chris,
High school. Let's go to high school.
High school, all right.
Yeah, let's go to high school. I'll round it out. You guys go first.
Yeah.
I'll finish it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So high school, I don't know. High school, I'll go prom. I was the prom king of my school. So
how many people graduated grade 12 with you?
17.
400.
Yeah.
And they picked you.
Yes. So my girlfriend at the time, we had dated all through high school, so we were kind of like
Shoo-in.
the prom king and queen. Yeah.
He rated number 1.
Default.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, they've been around a while. Let's give it to them.
Yeah. Basically.
All right.
Yeah.
For myself, I played lots of sports in high school. The best memory I have is in terms of going to OFSA for basketball. I think we worked really hard in terms of doing that.
It's nice to watch everybody play.
Yes, and to go from grade, I'm going to actually go back to grade 8 for a second.
Whoa,
Where-
hold
hey,
on.
no, I'm going to tell you
could
where to the
turn
point
back
where
time.
my teacher at the time, Rick Boone, the way I shot my basketball shot, it was like a soccer throw-in.
Okay.
And he's like, "Yeah, that's not going to work for basketball. You're not going to amount to much in basketball." And come 5th year, when we were in the final against St. Mike's, I was in the starting lineup because I actually worked as hard as I could through grade 9, grade 10, and all the way through in order to, not going to say perfect my shot, because if I perfected my shot, it would have been 100% of the time. But to the point where I was
Decent.
right?
Good.
Exactly.
Nice.
I speak to Rick every year. Fun fact.
Yep. Good job, Art. Every year, same Remembrance Day assembly. There's a high school memory again for you.
There you go. Do you want to go ahead and read Colby's out?
Yes,
either
yes, because I have a
you or
little
Chris?
tie into that one too. So I didn't realize he played hockey in high school, but good for him. and York anniversary, or university, not anniversary, in the trip.
Yeah.
Really liked York. But track and field, some discus, some javelin, badminton, basketball.
Oh, wow. We didn't have discus and javelin in my high school.
We did. I did that too, but I wasn't as good at it. And this is the best part. Didn't actually go to his own prom because he had a baseball tournament and showed up to the prom, or the after party, in his ball uniform. I also had a baseball tournament at my prom, and I still made it to prom. So there you go.
Priorities.
And just time management. Just gotta figure it out.
Oh my goodness. High school memories. There's so many, just so many. I mean, I was very fortunate. I went ahead and bought my first car when I was 15, and then could drive when I was 16. And nothing like driving a nice 1994 Ford Mustang red with your dad in the passenger seat. But let me tell you, the key to it was to have a girlfriend before that occurred. Because
Always you and a plan. It makes sense.
let me tell you,
You're starting young.
if I didn't have the girlfriend at the time, I most certainly wasn't going to be getting one for that full year, regardless of what kind of car I had. But I mean, I would go back to high school. I know a lot of people wouldn't, but I feel like high school was a fun time. I didn't really play as many sports as I wanted to because I focused on the academics and the girl at the time, which then later you've heard some of the conversations.
Thank God for academics.
You've heard some of the conversations about stuff after that. But fellas, Colby, that includes you. Anything else you guys want to add?
No, I don't think so.
I think we're good. I think it was a fun time for all of us, and we changed a couple things, but at the same time, it was a good learning experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's one thing that we have to do is always take a look back at our lives and say, you know what, we wouldn't be where we are today without some of those memories. So we'll be right back with our conclusion. That's all for today's episode.
Thank you again for listening. Keep on listening every other Thursday as Craft Beer Connoisseurs release a new episode, and on our off Thursdays for a producer special.
Make sure to tell your friends, family, and your favorite teacher, because after dealing with you, they need a beer too.
So from all of us and producer Colby, I'm Tyler.
I'm Brett.
And I'm Chris, and together we're the Craft Beer Connoisseurs.